I think usually where that comes is like that reflection period. You use something that you do right now is you use the mornings for a more meditative state. I wouldn't really use those as a review state. I think it's projecting what is to come. And then at night, when you evaluate for like 5 minutes, that's a great time just to like draw a circle. Welcome to the Full Field Podcast. I'm going to set what the new normal looks like in my life.
You're not limited by your genetics.
You have a superpower that is lifting people up.
So unfortunately, most businesses aren't going to use the highest quality ingredients.
What's your approach?
He's jacked.
I know he's jacked. That's why I'm asking him.
I don't think he lifts.
It's consistency in everything that we do that really compounds.
The only way we're going to get the word out is with you. Live full fueled, live beyond limits, baby. Let's go.
Welcome to the Full Field Podcast with your host, Matt Tack.
And Dr. Alfred Alessi.
What's up, man? Today we're
going
to be talking about some habits and habit structure. I know you're rolling through a book right now. I'm a big believer in Atomic Habits by James Clear, but the Habit Mechanic, I believe you're reading through. Who's the author on that?
Dr. John Finn.
Dr. John Finn.
Yeah. He's a cool man. He's a psychologist. It's a good book, man. You know, it's very practical and it's like stuff you can implement, but it's not overwhelming. Because that's the whole thing with habits is like everyone's like, oh, I'm going to get healthy in the new year. I'm going to start drinking a gallon of water. I'm going to start working out every day. I'm going to start doing X. And they stack like 10 habits and then they do none. You know what I mean? Where it's like start with one. Pick one thing that you can repeat on a daily basis. When it gets to be no longer really a habit, but more so like your daily routine and non-negotiable, now add another one. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of like the thing. These are like, dude, the stuff, the first couple of things we're going to talk about today are things that take you 30 seconds to do, right? Everyone has 30 seconds. So it's powerful. So,
people do stuff every day. That's what James Clear talks about a ton, right? Is like, what do you do every single day that then you could add something to that takes maybe less than 5 seconds to add that to. So one of the things that I've done is, okay, I like drinking a cup of coffee in the morning, but before coffee, you got to drink water, right? And so I drink water and then I drink a cup of coffee. So that's one thing that I've done. But another thing that I've done just as just pure habit structure is before I get in the shower, I do core work because I know I'm going to get sweaty anyway. Or I know so I'm going to get just my central nervous system is going to get a little hotter. I might get a little sweaty, but I'm going into the shower anyway. So what does it matter? So I dedicate 3 minutes of core workout before I get in the shower. So those are just some of the habits that I've stacked that I'm like, okay, not everyone is going to do the core work right before the shower, but it's a great time to do it. I'm not going to lie to you, because I'm taking the shower regardless. Regardless, I'm taking a shower. So why not add something to that? It's the same thing with brushing your teeth. Like if you put a glass of water by your toothbrush, well, you're more apt to drink that glass of water before you brush your teeth. And then there's another thing too that he does is putting a book by your toilet, right? Because the reality is likely everyone's going to take a shit every day, right? Every day. And it's probably going to be at in the same toilet, right? So there's a high percentage of likelihood. So it's like putting the odds in your favor. And then when a book's there, well, great time to take a poop and read a couple pages.
Let's offload some stuff and onload some knowledge. That's great, man. That's good. And like my house, if you come into my condo, I live alone. So I don't care. I don't have to clean up for anyone. My dinner table is where I do my studies and stuff and my journaling. So every night before I go to bed, I have my Bible here, I have my journal, and then I have the book I'm reading. And they're right next to each other with a 32-ounce mason jar and then my little espresso cup. They're empty, but I put them there so that when I wake up, I brush my teeth, take my supplements and whatever. I come out here and I get into my word. I fill my cup up with water and salt, and then I have my espresso. And so it's that's a habit, right? And that's stacking those things together. So I do that every single morning. The first thing that this book teaches you that's so cool that I've been doing every day, and it has made me get better at, my goal was to meditate every day. That's this thing. I was like, man, I keep missing that, or I'm forgetting it, or I'm putting it off, or stuff's getting me busy, you know? So I was like, I like, this is just so good for me and my mental state and my nervous system. So he calls it the daily T plan. T is spelled TEA, but the TEA stands for tiny empowering action. So it's like this tiny empowering action you can do every day that's going to elevate yourself or get you closer to your goals. And it's specific to you, right? So I'll kind of go through it, kind of the steps and then how to create an example of it, right? So I'll basically kind of like read this, but the first thing is you have to rate yourself. So step 1 of the daily T plan is rating yourself. How well did you do your best to be your best and achieve your goals yesterday or so far today, right? Depending on how you want to do it. So you could go 0 to 10. You could say, you know, great to not great. You could do like a smiley face, not smiley. However you want to rate yourself, just rate yourself, right? That way you're kind of keeping yourself accountable. You can look back and be like, all right, you know, I'm going to put myself for yesterday. Honestly, I was like an 8, man. Like I definitely accomplished a lot of stuff that we said we were going to that morning. I did do my meditation. So like I was on point with kind of what I was trying to get. So that's step 1, rate yourself. How did you do yesterday or, you know, today if you're going with today? Step 2, create the tiny empowering action. So some examples would be like, I only want to check the news once today. I'm going to go for a 5-minute walk at lunchtime. Or I want to drink 24 ounces of water before I leave the house, right? Or I'm not going to check my Instagram until 9 a.m. That's something that I've already dialed in as like a habit, right? But it started out with this. I don't check social media until 9 a.m. I get everything else done first. So then you write down that T, right? Today I'm going to XYZ. And then so that is then kind of based like where you will rate yourself the next day. Is like, did I get that done? Did I not? And then step 3 is more of like self accountability, but it's explaining yourself why. So this will take you less than a minute to do. Rate yourself, write down your tiny empowering action, and then underneath it, why? Why am I going to do that? So for me, I was an 8 out of 10 yesterday. I was pretty dialed in. Today, my tiny empowering action is going to be to meditate for 5 minutes in my lunch break. And then why? Because it calms my central nervous system, allows me to be more present, and will allow me to then reach the goals that we have set for our business. So it's pretty awesome. I love the daily T plan. It's been great. I have a space in my journal that I do it. So big fan of it.
Yeah, the one thing that we were talking about actually prior to this, and I think that it's good to point out because it's good to be vulnerable too, is like there's going to be seasonalities, but like building these levels at the end of the day, habits are discipline. And so the quality of your habits are going to be the quality of your discipline. And so one thing for me, Hurricane Milton, I'm telling you, like going through 2 hurricanes and not knowing really the anxiety that it was putting on me. Because I feel like I'm pretty even keel when it comes to like just like big events coming through. But the amount of media attention that's absorbed and all that, it like literally deflates you. And I'm not going to lie. I was just telling to you, I was like, dude, like deflated right now a little bit.
So much fear, dude.
There's so much fear mongering, right? And so it's like we had to, my wife and I during this, we had to like legitimately say goodbye to our house if the case that it like basically flooded. We're like, goodbye. You know, we did as much as we could, but the reality is we live on the water and your car flooded, you know, up to 6 feet during Hurricane Helene. So I was like, dude, if your car flooded, we're on the river, you know, very well, like Hurricane Milton, what they're saying, a 15-foot flood surge, our house is underwater. And so we had to say goodbye to our house. So like we're leaving for Orlando and I'm like, it didn't really hit then, but it's like, dang, like, you know, you're thinking about it and how much that actually takes away from you. You're like, all right, there's a little anxiety in that you're going to come home and it's like your house is just going to be completely ruined. So then there's this element of like kind of relief too, when you come back, but then your house is just like in mayhem. And so we've spent the last couple days, like obviously coming back and putting our house back together, but then it becomes like, I didn't get to work out for a few days. You know, I was telling you I have a few injuries. So like those things come against you. Now it's the power of your habits to creating the disciplines that are so important, of those tiny daily wins that you're talking about, of like going for a walk, you know, meditating, getting up, getting in the word, drinking water, and making sure you're taking care of your health. in the process, because those are the disciplines that are ultimately going to shorten the gap for you to get out of like kind of that season a little bit more quickly. And so for me, it definitely hit me hard. I'm saying like I'm probably a little bit on the backside of it and moving out of the direction of where I need to head. But like it was a lot. It was a ton, man. Especially knowing like even the clinic, right? A little bit of worry because I'm like, dude, it's not like it's like that far away from the river.
Yeah.
Who knows what happens? All these things. And it definitely did shut us down for a period of, really, it shut us down for a period
4
of
days.
almost a week, really,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there was people canceling, people are freaking out. So it's just all the things that kind of come into place that you're just like, all right, now we got to get back to basics. And that's really what the basics are, is that you're talking about these small daily disciplines that are small wins, right? That you can come back to the heart of gratitude. Like mine, my wife and I started doing like just praying, right? She takes a prayer one night, I take a prayer another night. And it's just like that prayer of gratitude of like, God, just let us sleep tonight. I mean, we went with power. We just got power in yesterday. So we went with power for a full week, where you're like taking cold showers and you're not feeling really clean after a cold shower.
You're still sweating after. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's all these things that you have to like kind of bounce back from. But these small, tiny daily disciplines are like, that's what keeps you moving forward. And I know
100%.
that for me, hands down, it's some of these like small disciplines of like, yeah, all right, I need to drink water. I need to get my electrolytes in me. I need to get to the gym and work out. You need to do these things because those are what create the small wins that are ultimately going to be a bigger impact down the road.
Well, dude, prime example. That's what kept me grounded during that whole weekend, right? Like I live here on the water. Like this building it's old. You know, if the hurricane would have hit like full speed, like they were saying, like Category 5, this building might have been destroyed. And so like I'm at my parents' house, like holding down their fort. That could have gotten wrecked too. So like, but the thing that kept me grounded was these daily habits, man. Like I still woke up, I still drank my water, I did my espresso, I did my journal, I did my Bible, right? I was doing all the things that I do every single day. And that's because it's been the last 4, 5, 6 months that I've created habits that are now just like, that's what I do, right? Like when I was like packing to go stay at my parents' house, I didn't bring much, but I brought my stuff that I do my daily habits. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I'm not going to miss that, man. Cause like, that's how you keep that structure. And then you get right back into it, man. Like, praise God, like nothing catastrophic, right? Like we didn't have like anything insane. So, it's great, man. You know, the next one that he goes through in this book is actually really great. Kind of segue off of that. It's all about like gratitude and kind of reflection. So it's like, obviously there's some reflection in the daily T plan, but most of that is more so like setting a goal or like kind of like, you know, hey, why am I going to do something? Here's what I'm going to do. The next one, he calls it the daily 3-to-1 reflection. So like 3:1. And so basically it's, again, 30 seconds to a minute is what it's going to take you to do this. More if you want to like really reflect and meditate on it. But 3 things that you're either grateful for or that you love or that just like happened that were positive, right? Positive reflections, 3, right? So, you know, it'd be like, I got to see my boys. I hung out with my sons. I saw my sister and her new baby. Our house didn't get blown away, right? 3 positive things. And then 1 thing that you're like, hey, I could have improved on this. So it's like start with the gratitude, the positive stuff to really get you kind of more into like a positive space. And then more of like hey, like this needs work, or, you know, I didn't exercise today, right? Whatever it might be. Tomorrow I'm going to XYZ. So that's the 3-to-1, 3 positives. And then 1 thing that needs a little to be addressed or needs some work, some effort. And again, that's like more of an end of the day kind of thing.
Does he have like, is there like a little scorecard analysis? Is that just like basically, is it 1 to 10 on how you did that day?
On the T plan, yes. It's like a 1 like, again, you can rate it how you want, but I do 1 to 10. So like, I just like that system. It's easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically how he does that.
Yeah. I teach our guys, to evaluate through a circle. If you see it back here, I don't know if you can see my whiteboard.
Yeah.
Did mine today, but I just draw a circle and then I do kind of 6 pillars, right? Mind, spirit, work, fuel, movement, sleep. And then I go through 1 to 10 and just rate myself really quickly on those and then divide that by 60. So like whatever I get out of that. And then I look at one and I'm like, hey, which one do I want to improve on today?
Yeah,
Right? By
needs
a
the most work.
percentage or two. So like if I'm dipping into 50, 60% of optimized territory, all right, how do I just bump that up to 65%? Like what is it that I just need to focus on to bump that up a few degrees? And I can pick like one or two. In that case, like maybe 3 is tops, but like you're not going to take all 6, right? Bump them all up at once, but it's how you pull levers to grow from that. So I know this past week I dipped below 60 and I was like, dang, man, I gotta pop myself up in some areas. And so then what are those?
Well, that's why that reflection is so important. Because if you're not doing that, then you're just going to keep going about life, and that 60 is going to become 50, going to become 40. Now you're operating at like 30% of your capacity of what you can accomplish, and you're not going to be getting anything done. So I think reflection is, key, man. So that's honestly, that's good. That's 3 exercises people can do. Pick one. I wouldn't say do all 3. Start with one, whether it's the T plan, whether it's the 3-to-1, or doing the 6 pillars. I like the pillars, man. We came up with that, when we started this podcast, kind of our areas of focus. We have a graphic. We'll add the graphic into this episode so people can see. But fuel, movement, sleep, mind, work, and spirit, right? And then, like you said, 0 to 10 scale on all of those. Add those up, and that gives you a percentage out of 100, right? So then it's, or whatever, you do the math, figure it out. But get your percentage
and then divide by 60, and then it's scale out of 100, right? Based on the percentage.
Yeah. And so then that kind of gives you a grand scheme of here's how I'm operating. Now you look and you're like, all right, sleep was 8 out of 10, exercise was 6 out of 10, work was 6 out of 10, spirit was 2 out of 10. You're like, okay, like I'm slacking in this area. Now it's affecting, other areas. How do I boost that up to catch up and then ultimately improve my overall score? So objective analysis of life is awesome, man.
Yeah, no, it's crucial in understanding. I think usually where that comes is like that reflection period. You use something that you do right now is you use the mornings for a more meditative state. I wouldn't really use those as a review state. I think it's projecting what is to come. And then at night, when you evaluate for like 5 minutes, that's a great time just to like draw a circle that I mentioned, or use the T scale of like just having a 5-minute reflection period of like, what could I have done today to kind of boost performance or whatever it might be. Or go through your 3 daily gratitudes, and then, hey, where's that boosting factor if I'm falling low, and maybe work or fuel or whatever. Fuel's an easy one because did I operate within the nutritional guidelines that I said I would, right? Did I hit my protein target, right? That's an easy one for me.
Freaking gummy worms all day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's an easy one for me though, because I measure everything off of protein. If I don't hit my protein targets, if I don't get over 200 grams of protein in a day, optimally 225 is what I set, then like I didn't hit my nutritional target because I wasn't optimized like I said I was going to be. So like every meal for me has to be balanced and portioned to protein. So like, did I get my, like chicken in, right? When grocery shopping yesterday, did I get, I'd lean light on fats and carbohydrates. And I lean heavy on protein. So did I get, 2 protein shakes in a day? I have 275, like those are easy for me. So like fuel is easy. Movement, did I work out, right? Did I walk? Did I do these things? And that's how like I'll measure myself based on that. So, but like usually what it comes down to is like mind, spirit, work. Where am I ebbing and flowing those areas? And how I truly can evaluate those. Cause like mind comes back of like, did yesterday, did I take the 5 minutes to like measure my heart of gratitude? Right. That's more the mind. Right. And then that is directly related to the spirit of like, did I ask for discernment that day from like the creator of the universe? Yeah. Like I should, like, did he tell me something that I need to know? So those are really important things to evaluate. I think that's just a cadence of like habit structure, right? Something that takes you, some of these things that you're mentioning take 30 seconds, some maybe take a couple minutes, but they can go a long way once they compound.
Definitely, man. Yeah. You start stacking them again. It's like, I do 4 different habits at the same time that are like really empowering for my body, right? And my brain. Drinking the water, doing my Bible study. I read 10 pages of a book, which is this book I'm doing here. And then I journal, and I dial in my finisher's journal, which we're both using, which awesome journal, by the way. I'll plug it. We don't have any affiliation with them, but the finisher's journal is sick. It's so good for if you've got like a goal that you're trying to hit, whether you're an entrepreneur, business, whatever, man, it really gets you on focus. So, that's been like an awesome factor for me. But yeah, I love these practical talks, bro. Cause like, like people can just take this stuff and then implement it. Right. And so we're like, really, it's not hard. It's just a matter of like doing it. So we're here to, just help you guys out with, elevating you and giving you structure and things that you can implement into your life that are not crazy hard to do.
No, they aren't. I think it was a great podcast in terms of just being able to take 1 or 2 things away, and then scorecards. You're only as good as how you track your data, right?
What gets measured gets managed. That's it, man.
What gets measured gets managed. I love that. So as always, we'll go through a couple sponsors here that we have. Nutrition Solutions, go check them out. Full Field 15 is the code over there. Get 15% off your first order. Then you have Alessi Functional Health. If you want to live a pain-free future, make sure you head on into the clinic. You live in Tampa Bay. We're here to serve you. And then last but not least, I definitely want to give a shout out to our Optimizers program and all of our guys in our program right now that are just crushing it, that are living optimized lives. They're really, what we think about is gaining lean muscle mass more than losing weight. We want you to lose fat, yes, hands down. That reduces inflammation in the body, but we want you to stack on that muscle and live the most optimized life that you possibly can live well into your 40s, 50s, 60s, and even 70s. So get it. And if you want more information on that, just reach out to us. We have Full Field Doc and at human.optimizer. We're here to help you. We can hop on a call with you and make sure you get the proper roadmap.
And the page is fitness.fullfuel.com. So they can go there, check it out, read about the program, read about us and what we do. And join the team, man, and get friggin' cut up. Look like this guy over here.
That's right. That's
Pop
right.
that top, baby.
As always, we end this with live full field, baby. Live beyond limits. Welcome to the Full Field Podcast.
I'm going to set what the new normal looks like in my life.
You're not limited by your genetics.
You have always superpower that is lifting people up.
So unfortunately, most businesses aren't going to use the highest quality ingredients.
What's your approach?
Dude, jacked.
I know he's jacked. That's why I'm asking him.
I don't think he lifts.
It's consistency in everything that we do that really compounds.
Only way we're going to get the word out is with you. Live full fueled, live beyond limits, baby.